The idea is that we're making incremental changes, right?
And I think Donald Trump is doing the same thing.
No, he's not. He's rolling back these regulations.
Because you cannot say your party, maybe the Green Party is not this way. The Democrat Party is saying we want all electric cars by 2035, 2050.
2035 is too soon. And it's
2050. All electric cars?
Sure.
What, electric airplanes?
I think that would be wonderful.
They're not going to be able to do that.
I think it would be great if we had mass.
So the problem is that the student's just not living in reality.
Wondering about climate change. So I'm a young man.
Yeah.
I have family that lives in lowland Louisiana and North Carolina. I care about my family. I care about my future. I care about the planet that my kids are going to live on.
Yeah.
From what I know, the research that has been conducted around the world, the thermometers that have been recording global surface air temperatures since 1860 have shown, I think, pretty definitively that human factors are causing climate change. If I care about my family, if I care about sea level rise and global warming, and if I care about the world, why should I vote Trump? And to preface, I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm a Green Party voter. I'm voting for Jill Stein. You guys should vote for Jill Stein.
Which I think is a wasted vote.
So if you guys don't know what's going on here, this specific video was recorded before the presidential election recently, and it was about the environment specifically, or climate change specifically. So this student is an advocate for the Green Party, and he's an advocate for combating climate change. I don't think Donald Trump's really big on that, but please let me know what you guys think. Let's get into it.
I'm being honest.
Say what you want.
You're entitled to vote for whoever you want, but it's inconsequential. If you didn't vote, who cares? I mean, vote for her, not voting, I don't know. Jumping off a building, I don't know. Same thing.
It's what aligns with my values.
Okay, I get that. That's fair. But let me say this. I am very skeptical of the climate change theology.
Can you tell me why?
Well, let's look at it like this. What plan of action are they proposing for us to do?
Weaning off greenhouse gas producing fossil fuels.
Where? When are we going to do that? How are we going to do that?
Oh, it's renewable energy?
Solar is not sustainable.
Tell me why.
Solar is not sustainable. They cannot. How many solar panels do you need to run this campus? And you can't run it here because half of the year you're dead.
Right, but there's more than solar. There's offshore, there's nuclear.
No, but I'm saying
nuclear is incredibly effective. If you have a gram of uranium,
we'll go with solar.
Okay.
We'll go with solar.
But we also have all these other things to go.
No, but let's go with solar. Can we agree that solar is not sustainable to work in any real capacity?
Yeah, but nothing is sustainable by itself.
So what's the next one? What's the next?
Nuclear energy.
Nuclear energy. I don't think Republicans are against nuclear energy.
Okay.
What then?
But you're also against all sorts of other stuff.
Like what?
And you're for things like fossil fuels.
Yeah, I think
you're against
fossil fuels are great.
repealing electric car mandates, stuff like that.
No. That's the thing. The government shouldn't. I think it should be a fair free market. Just like
Let me explain
this.
Market, though.
Just
the carbon tax.
Like Elon Musk.
Okay.
He could develop. The government is not doing it. Elon Musk developed the electric car. People could choose to buy it or not.
You know what the electric cars made it? The cobalt. They get it in a mine.
Right.
And they mine the cobalt. Tons of
and
slaves,
slave
tons
labor.
Of greenhouse gases.
Lithium batteries are terrible. My father's a firefighter chief, and he said lithium batteries are one of the most dangerous things.
And I'm not in favor of electric cars. I'm in favor of public transportation.
So now we don't have solar panels. We don't have electric cars. What's the next option?
There's also offshore wind. The thing is, none of these things by themselves can work alone, but that's not the point.
Well, if you don't have solar, if you don't have electric cars, then what are you going to use for travel?
Okay, obviously electric cars are going to be needed.
Yeah, but cobalt, the lithium mining.
But the point that he's getting at is that there's no way to have clean travel in the United States or in the world in general. Because for one, there's gas cars, and he doesn't think those are climate friendly. And for two, there are electric vehicles which contain lithium batteries, which producing these batteries and disposing of these batteries are also not climate friendly. Basically, the point that I'm getting at is that the student is a little delusional. There's no right climate friendly way of having cars. That's just the truth, at least right now.
The idea we can't. Okay,
let's say that we end all our carbon emissions in America.
Yeah.
What is China doing?
Well,
China and India are 80% of all carbon emission around the world.
Right. I think
if they don't stop, what are we going to do?
We should cooperate with these nations.
What does Trump got to do with that? He's only in office for 4 years.
Yeah, but Trump has policies that are going to lead to sea level rises.
The Democrats.
My family's going to be put at harm. When the water's rising in Louisiana, they're going to have to move.
The Democrats have been in office for 12 of the last 16 years.
Yeah.
What have they done?
I'm Green Party, bro. I'm voting Jill Stein.
And Green Party ain't never going to win. So you got to pick one of these two people. I think Donald Trump is the better option.
For
I think
climate change?
Donald Trump is open-minded.
For the environment. You think-
Like, people get this perception that Republicans don't care about the environment. We just don't want to screw ourselves trying to be overly hyper in this one area that they're being disingenuous about.
Then why is Donald Trump trying to roll back pollution regulations?
No, because what it's doing is
regulations,
it's
river
hurting the development of auto manufacturers here in the United
It's
States.
hurting
of
the
America.
profits of billionaires, right? And who funds Donald Trump?
It's hurting
Who
the
funds
now
Donald
think about
Trump?
this. It's
Who
hurting the
funds
profits of
Donald
billionaires. It's just the billionaires that are in fossil fuel and the billionaires that are in the electric side. They all making money off of you.
Right.
So what are you saying? Elon Musk is the richest man in the world with his electric cars and his air travel and all kind of other stuff he's doing. But Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. You think he's affected if they want to get rid of that and only do electric cars? Elon Musk wins. These billionaires are going to win no matter what you do. It's not about Donald Trump want the billionaires to win and all this. That's ludicrous. Congress has a part in this as well. Congress needs to act. Congress is the one that introduced bills. It's not the president.
Okay, I agree.
We need the president for other things other than that.
But if you vote for Donald Trump, right?
If
you vote for
Donald Trump and he's the president for 4 years, is somehow the winds are going to start picking up and we are going to die because the temperature is going to increase by 15 degrees. No, it's not going to happen.
The idea is that we're making incremental changes, right?
And I think Donald Trump is doing the same thing.
No, he's not. He's rolling back these regulations.
Because you cannot say your party, maybe the Green Party is not this way. The Democrat Party is saying we want all electric cars by 2035, 2050.
2035 is too soon. And it's
2050. All electric cars?
Sure.
What, electric airplanes?
I think that would be wonderful.
They're not going to be able to do that.
I think it would be great if we had mass.
So the problem is that the students just not living in reality. I mean, I get it. You're in the Green Party. You want everything to be green. You want perfect climate control. But the thing is, for one, Officer Tatum is right. You got to pick a side when it comes to elections. Either you're going to vote Democrat or you're going to vote Republican. It turns out the student doesn't like Trump, which doesn't necessarily mean he's not a Republican, but he doesn't like Trump, so he probably didn't vote for Trump. He said he voted Green Party, and he probably doesn't support Trump's tactics or he doesn't support Trump's ideals. That's fine. But you have to have a realistic point of view. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to vote green no matter what. It's just, what's the point of voting at that point? They are never going to win an election, or at least anytime soon they're not going to win. So what do you believe? I haven't heard a realistic solution so far from the students.
Where are they going to get the energy from?
There's all sorts of these sources.
They putting up solar panels, and they need fossil fuel to build it, and they need a diesel to drive that thing where it's going.
Right. Okay.
And they need cranes and stuff to put it up there. It's almost a net. It's almost a wash. They're using as much fossil fuel to produce these electric and clean energy projects that it's insane. I think that the argument is between a person doing their own research. I don't believe that.
But it's not about doing your own research.
No, because there's many scientists that say it's a hoax, that it's full of crap.
There's very, very few, and those are discredited.
You can say that if they want to. The ones that I see that are pushing this stuff.
Can you name one? Name one.
What's his name? The president that lost.
What's his name?
Against Kennedy in Florida. I mean, not Kennedy, but Bush in Florida. Gore.
Al Gore.
Al Gore had this whole thing. Some of these climate change people had this whole thing. Obama and them had this whole thing. And they got beachfront properties on Martha's Vineyard. Man, insurance companies are insuring these houses.
Yeah,
if they believe that, listen, the insurance company is where the money is at. These banks are where the money is at. Why would they give you a loan on a beachfront property that's going to be underwater in 5 years?
I'm not talking about politicians. Hey, I'm taking a class right now, Environment 100. My professor, he's a researcher. He's conducted research.
Now, does every researcher agree that our plan is going to end in 20 years if we don't do something?
It's not about researchers agreeing. Let me tell you why.
It is about it.
So the way that
if there's somebody that opposes it, you should look into their research and why they oppose it.
Well, here's the thing. If you guys don't know, I am a researcher. I have a master's in engineering, and the way that research works is that you have to submit your research to be peer reviewed. So yes, if someone opposes it, what he's saying is just it's a weird statement, because when you do research in a scientific field such as something like this, climate control, climate change, it's hard to oppose research because research in its nature is just factual. That's what it is. It's you found factual evidence to prove this. and then you submitted it to be peer reviewed, and then you published it. So it's a factual document in general. So when you say, do you disagree? It's a weird statement, because can you disagree with the fact? He probably meant like they found evidence that's contradictory to the research, but that's very rare. That's very rare, especially when it comes to something like climate change that's just been studied so many times. But I'm not saying I disagree with his statement. I'm just saying like his view of research is just kind of strange. But let's continue.
I've looked into it, and let me tell you why I disagree. So the way that we know climate change is happening, since 1860, we've had thermometers around the whole world. Scientists have been recording air temperature.
When did we first have the first automobile? Do you remember?
First automobile, we had the Model T in 1904. Something like that.
20,000 years ago.
So
automobiles, 20,000.
No, look at the year 20,000.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to. Never mind. Sorry.
So-
tilt is
My bad, bro.
causing
I
Right.
need to talk to this guy.
I agree with him more than you.
Yeah.
Let's just look at it like this.
Okay, but the tilt cycle.
20,000 year cycle. We don't know what happened 20,000 years
No,
ago.
let me tell you what though. So
Hold on, wait a minute,
we're taking
wait a
these
minute,
temperatures.
wait, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'll let
Okay,
him
what's
do
up?
it.
Fun fact, if you guys don't know, there was actually more carbon dioxide, much more, when the dinosaurs were around than there are now. There's way less carbon dioxide roaming the earth now, in our ozone layer and throughout the entirety of the planet. The thing is, though, that these amounts just fluctuate and they change naturally. That's what they don't want you to understand. So when you have climate change, the climate will always change. Whether there's global warming or global cooling is what we need to discuss. But climate will change when the number of people on Earth increase. The climate will change when the number of people on Earth decrease. The climate is forever fluid. It's forever fluid, always. So whether or not that's a good or bad thing, I don't know. I never studied it. But let's continue.
This isn't me. But when you
This
this is the way. What?
Yeah, this old man knows more than you, bro.
See, in my opinion, this is the problem. What you should do.
I've looked
Hold
at this.
on, buddy. What you should do is you should hear him and debunk him, and not discard him.
But can I do that right now? Let me do that. Can I do that?
Go ahead.
Okay, so we've taken surface air temperatures. If you take the average of surface and water air temperature around the Earth, and you compare it to the carbon concentration, you can see from the baseline average from 1960, 1991, from 1860 to today, we have rapidly exceeded that baseline average temperature. And if you take computer models and you factor in the tilt of the Earth, you factor in solar radiation, you factor in solar activity like sunspots, you factor in volcanic eruptions, methane in the atmosphere,
Okay,
and you also factor in human industrial activity. If you isolate every factor except for human industrial activity, it doesn't explain climate change.
Well,
it doesn't correlate.
Look at this.
At all.
How long has the Earth been around? How long has the Earth been around?
Can I finish this?
How long has the Earth been around?
Wait, let me finish this.
No,
first
I
off.
just want to say, how long has the Earth been around?
I'll answer that in a second. The thing is,
Okay.
when you add in human industrial activity, suddenly all the data lines up. This is science, right? We're taking this data, we're comparing it to what we know.
I disagree. I'll do more research on the guys that you want me to look up. I think it's a common sense approach. The Earth, according to scientists, is billions of years old.
4.3, yeah.
4.3 billion years. So you think these little roaches that's on this little Earth only been probably burning fossil fuel for the last 100 years or so, maybe 150?
Yeah.
It's gonna make the whole world change? The whole
100%. 100%.
This is going to change so drastically
Yes.
for these little ants that've been there for 100 years.
Yes.
This Earth's been around for billions of years?
Yes. 100%.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, look at
No,
this.
it's
Look
called
at
the Anthropocene.
Look at the Earth's surface.
Okay.
I flew to Israel, right? We were flying over water for 10 hours.
Okay.
I said, what in the is going on here? Most of the Earth is filled with water. Humans do not occupy any of it. Nowhere, none of it.
Now that water is being acidified because of carbon.
Antarctica is the biggest surface area on Earth, landmass.
Antarctica, I think Eurasia is bigger than Antarctica.
I don't know. We can argue that, but still, nobody lives there. I mean,
Okay,
just this
yeah.
little. If this was the Earth, it's like this many people on there, way down here, that's doing a little carbon thing go up
But
this high.
the truth
and
is,
gonna
it's not a
change
little.
the trajectory of the entire
It's
Earth.
not little. We're mining. We're emitting every day from our cars.
I don't-
Everything that we do has a
That's
carbon.
100 years.
I will say this, Officer Tatum, he's wrong. We are changing the climate. There are billions of people on Earth, and we emit carbon every single day. and there is trillions of dollars worth of mining for fossil fuels happening every single day. So yes, humans are 100% making an impact. Whether or not this impact will destroy our livelihood, I obviously don't agree with that. And I also think that us mining for fossil fuels and us doing that is necessary for our day-to-day lives. It's what we have to do. It's not like we're just doing it for fun. We use gas every single day. Like if somebody came to you and said, we'll stop mining for gas and fossil fuels, but you can never drive your car again, I'll say no. I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna lie. If they say we'll stop mining for gas and fossil fuels, but you can never use your HVAC system again, I'll say no. So yes, we are making a big difference on Earth because we're humans. We are the kings of Earth. We control the Earth. And there are billions of us, but it's necessary. I'm not gonna lie, it's necessary, and I think it helps us more than it hurts us.
Compared to a billion years, I mean, it's 150 years of doing that.
Right, but if you look at the human population, you look at the scale of expansion of industrial activity, and it lines up.
I think
you can say whatever you want, but if you take real numbers,
I agree.
You
send me your sources so I can research that.
I would love to.
Okay,
I would love to.
When you come off here, just get your sources and give it to them, and I'll look it up.
Sure thing. You know what? You should go and talk to Professor Eli Wheat.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm just a college student.
Well,
if you want to talk to an expert,
well, he's not the only one, but give me his references.
Sure
and
thing.
then give them to me, and I will consider them.
Sure thing.
Okay.
So let me know what you guys think about this video. These climate activists, they always confuse me because they are, how do I say this? They're anti-fossil fuels, they're pro-green, but they use everything that has fossil fuels. Like they use HVACs, they use their cars every day. They don't really account for it in their personal lives. They just want you to stop using it. Nonetheless, my name is Jojo, and I'll see you guys on the next one.